Here, I welcome to all my dear students, myself Dr.J.K.Sali. Today, we are going to learn ethics and modern practices in research, ethical principles in research. So, let's start with the ethics and modern practices in research. Ethics and modern practices in research. Meaning of ethics. Ethics is defined as the discipline dealing with what is good and bad and with moral duty and obligation. Thus, personal ethics has been referred to as the rules by which an individual lives his or her personal life. And accounting ethics pertains to the code that guides the professional conduct of accountants. Ethics is related to issue of right and wrong. Determine these issues of right and wrong. Values are learned, not taught. They are learned from bad times, stories, community, etc. They are deep-rooted, fundamental beliefs that influence responses. The definition: management is not all businesses. Management educators must develop, teach, and exemplify the values, the methods, and the tools for all leadership groups. The respected philosopher and religious leader had said that the various sins of current times, for example, business without morality, politics without principles, education without character, wealth without hard work, devotion without austerity. Next is personal values. Personal values refer to a conception of what an individual or group regards as desirable. A value is a view of life and judgment of what is desirable that is very much part of a person's personality and a group's moral. Personal value are from parents, teachers, and elders. As an individual grows, values adapted and in the light of new knowledge and experience. Organization values are imparted by the founder or a chief executive. They remain in some for long time after that person is not there. Next is research ethics. Ethics are broadly the set of rules, written and unwritten, that govern our expectations of our own and others' behavior. Importance of Research ethics. The first point, research ethics promote the aims and objectives of research, such as extending knowledge. Second is, research ethics promote social and moral values, such as the principle of doing no troublesome to others. Research ethics ensure that the public can trust research. For people to support and fund research, they have to be confident. Researchers can be held accountable for their action. Many researchers are supported by public money, regulations of interest, misconduct, and research involving humans are necessary to ensure that money is spent appropriately. In this slide, now we will discuss ethical principles and ethical issues in research. The following are the major ethical values form a core group of ethical principles. First point is honesty. Honesty is the best policy, which has the three basic. The first is truthfulness. The obligation to avoid intentional or fact, intent, or opinions. Next is sincerity. The obligation to avoid half truth and out of context statements. They are intended to create beliefs which are untrue. Next is candor. Relationship that involve expectations of trust and honesty. This also imposes the obligation to affirmatively information that the other person is too important. Next is promises. Ethical dimensions of promise keeping, the responsibility of making reasonable effort to a commitment. Thereafter, next point is fairness. Fairness, the notions of justice, equity, transparency, and consistency. Next is respect, right to dignity and autonomy of all individual. That is respect. Next point is pursuit of excellence. When a person is in position of responsibility and others, his or her knowledge, ability, and willingness to perform or effectively. The next point is accountability. Ethical person expect responsibility for their decisions. Accountable persons does not blame or accept credit for another person's achievement. Thereafter, next point is objectivity. Objectivity, for example, you should never reminded as peer reviewer someone you know who you have worked with, and you should try to ensure that no group are excluded from your research. Next is carefulness. Take care in carrying out your research to avoid careless mistake. You should also review your work carefully to ensure that your results are credible. Next point is responsible publication. You should publish to advance research and knowledge, and not just to advance your career. Next is authorship. The author should also responsibility to certify that manuscript represent work and take responsibility for this work. And last is data analysis. The analysis means the computation of certain measures indicates along with searching patterns of relationships among the data group. In this slide, now we will discuss plagiarism. Plagiarism is presenting someone else's work or ideas as your own with or without their content by incorporating into your work without full acknowledgement. All published and unpublished material, whether in manuscript, printed, or electronic form, is covered under this definition. Plagiarism is the representation of another author's language, thoughts, ideas, or expression as own original work. Someone else takes without. Plagiarism is whether you mean to do it or not. Plagiarism of even a sentence or two can have serious consequence. Next is form of academic plagiarism. The various point is here. First is submitting someone's work as their own. Next is rewriting someone's work without properly citing sources. Next is using quotations but not citing the source. And last is interweaving various sources together in the work without citing. Citing some but not all passages that should be cited. Providing proper citates but failing to change the structure and wording ideas enough, and inaccurately citing a source. So, these were the various forms of academic plagiarism. Thank you.